Welcome to the Reddit Marketing Masterclass. This is a complete training series, 10 modules covering everything from the framework overview to the specific tools that make this happen. Each one of these are designed as standalone so that you can jump to what you need. But if you're new, then you do have to go through the whole course. And you have to go through it in order because each phase builds on the last. You have to go through all the phases. So let's jump in, start with module one, which we're in right now, the framework overview. Okay, so this is the quick version. This is the entire system in about 10 minutes. So if you watch the full webinar, consider this a refresher. If you didn't, this is going to give you the complete framework before we go deep on each phase. Okay, so I'm going to start with why most Reddit marketing doesn't work. Okay, so here's what most people do. They go to Reddit, they type in a keyword, a search that's relevant to their keyword, to their market, find 3 to 4 subreddits that look relevant, write some posts, drop a link, and then think you can get away with it. What happens is it just gets downvoted or removed or maybe banned at the worst, or shadow banned and then banned. And then they conclude Reddit isn't going to work for them, or Reddit just doesn't work for marketing. But here's the thing, that's not marketing, that's hoping. Reddit, it's fundamentally different from every other platform. I say this every time we speak about Reddit. There's no follower count algorithm boosting you. There's no paid posts. You could do paid advertising. That's totally different. No paid promotions to boost your post. There's no way to buy your way in, right? So every single post lives or dies based on whether or not that specific community finds it valuable. So if you don't have a system, you're gambling every single time. So the framework that we're about to go over changes all of that. There's 4 phases. Each one builds on the last. Phase 1 is the map, where you map where your audience is living. Okay, you want to know where they actually are, not just the obvious subreddits, all of the adjacent communities where competition is lower and people are actually talking about their problem. Phase 2 is the analysis phase, where you study what works in each community. Every subreddit's got its nuances, it's got its own patterns. You learn from them before you write a single word. Then phase 3 is where you build your presence, right? So you got to contribute value before you ever promote anything. Building presence so that when you do share your stuff, it doesn't feel like a spam. And then the promotional side, now, after you've done these first 3 phases, only in phase 4, when you promote, and only now, can you start promoting. But it doesn't look like what you think of as a promotion. And what's really key is that these phases are not optional. You can't skip to phase 4 and expect the results. So let's be clear on how all of this connects. Okay, there's the mapping, where it tells you where to show up. Without this, you're posting in the wrong places. The analysis tells you how to show up in these places. Without this, your content isn't going to fit into the community culture. And then the building earns you the right to promote. Without this, it's spam. You don't just look like spam, it is spam. And then the promotion converts because that trust is now is there, right? So without that trust baked in, everything is going to fail. If you skip a phase, the whole thing just falls apart. You can't just choose and jump into one of the phases and think it's going to work, right? It's not a choose your own phase kind of adventure. It is a sequence, and that's the key to understanding this. Okay, so phase 1, community mapping. This is where most people go wrong before they even start. They'll type in a product into Reddit and find the obvious subreddits. It's like going to the most crowded spot in a lake and fishing there and saying this, this is the best spot to fish because everyone is there. In a way, yeah, but no. Number one, it's very competitive. Everyone is there, right? So let's say project management, for example. Say you have a project management tool. So the obvious move is to go to the subreddit project management. But again, it's crowded. Everyone's there. Mods are strict. And everyone there has seen hundreds of different tools. They all have different needs. Okay, now think adjacent. Now, what does your tool fix? So in project management, you're going to have people that are founders, right? With team coordination problems, right? So that you would go to startups, right? And talk about that there. In project management, you would also have people who are remote workers who or people are struggling to sync up with their remote workers. So you'd want to go to remotework.com, remotework.com, the subreddit remote work, and talk about your, how that helps. So, and then even as broad as going to the ADHD subreddit, because people looking for project management, some could be people with ADHD looking for some organization. So it might be perfect for a lot of people in these subreddits that you would never really think to go to. Okay, so your topic generally comes up naturally in these subreddits, and you're not competing with every other project management tool. And when you find these communities, you have to map them out, because you have to have the size, the rules, what's working, the strictness of the moderation, the topic, and how frequency the topic comes up in this subreddit, right? Okay, so we're going to go into module in the next module, like module 2. Right now we're doing the overview. This is just module 1. Module 2, we're going to go deep on this. Okay, so the next step is analyze, right? Content pattern analysis. So you've got your map. Now, what do you post? Reddit isn't just one platform. It's thousands of micro communities, each with its own culture, right? So what might kill it in startups might get you banned from Entrepreneur. The format patterns matter. Are they text links to top posts? Are they just links? Are they just post texts? Meaning, is it just a long post with no links, right? Uh, Obviously, in certain the subreddits, only images are going to work, right? Or maybe in certain image subreddits, that those are the ones that get the most amount of traction, is the ones with the images. Generally, as long as you're giving value on Reddit, you're always going to be following the Reddit terms and conditions. Their whole ethos, their whole culture is to always give value and to never self-promote. And that's the key to understanding generally the whole culture of subreddit. And then each subreddit has got its own little nuances. It's not something you have to spend hours on. And again, the script will automate this for you. But before you start automating things, you really do need to understand what's going on in real time. Right? It's like the old days before you started using things like SC Nuke, right? You need to know how the backlinking process works. Okay, so the the process, I guess, is sort posts by the month, look which ones are the winners, and then build out your template based on that. Take the winning posts into ChatGPT or Claude or wherever it might be. Manus might be the best one for it. Ask it to analyze the comments and the reason why that post killed it. Okay, so in module 3, that's where we go really deep on this. Okay, so next is building, where you want to build your presence. Okay, this is where everyone skips ahead and really blows it. Right, you have communities that are mapped out now. Great. You've studied the patterns. Awesome. Now they think they're ready to promote. So they'll post their product, it tanks, gets removed, they probably get banned, and that's it. Reddit doesn't work. So the rule is 10 to 1. 10 valuable contributions for every one product mentioned. And I would say if you're doing affiliate marketing, you can't just mention the product. But if you're doing affiliate marketing, the best way to do it is build out, a proper website blog with a brand, so that you could mention the brand. I saw a great review on this product on so on and so forth. Um, so the reason why 10 in 1 is because obviously you can't promote stuff in Reddit. They don't like that. And not just Reddit. I'm talking about the users. The users are finely tuned, right? They have spam detectors. They know when people are trying to promote. Okay, so if your first interaction is promoting yourself, they know it'll get downvoted into the oblivion, the abyss of Reddit or the subreddit that you're in. But if they've seen you in the subreddit being helpful, then a product mention isn't a promotion. It feels like a recommendation from someone they know, from a friend, right? So the goal is to look like a person who happens to have a product or know about a product, not a product pretending to be a person. Okay. So the next phase is strategic promotions, right? You've mapped, analyzed, built your presence. Now you promote. But again, like I was saying before, it doesn't look like what you think would a normal promotion would look like. It's not dropping links or creating, ads. It is answering questions where your product genuinely fits, and it is sharing your experience naturally. Okay, that framing works. Like, I had this problem, I tried a bunch of things, either built my own solution or tried this solution, and here's what I learned. Now, again, these posts are all going to be automated for you. Okay, no buy now stuff, no special offer, just a person sharing their journey. Okay, the best Reddit promotions do not look like a promotion ever. It looks like someone sharing what's worked for them. And module 5 is all about that. Okay, so that's it for module 1, the overview. You can take away today and start today implementing already. Okay, so what you can do today already is, number 1, go out and list 10 adjacent communities, not the obvious ones, right? You want to go where your audience hangs out when they're not looking for your solution, right? Like the ADHD place where founders and CEOs are looking how they could manage certain aspects, right? So you want to jump in there. And again, the tools to pinpoint those conversations, you have some of you have access to them, some of you don't. Regardless of that, you need to know how to do this manually first, so you understand just from the ground up. Okay, so that's the first thing you can do. Number 2, you could go to each one of those subreddits and look at the top posts. Okay, you could, if you've got RSS Sind, you can take the subreddit and you can sort by popular, or you can just go into Reddit. Forget about any of the tools. Just go into Reddit right now and just do it manually and spend 10 minutes noting what gets upvoted. Okay. And then the third thing you can do is just comment on a couple of posts. Take 3 posts and be genuinely helpful. No links, no promotion. Okay. And that's starting that's starting already phase 3, right? The promotion, right? So an hour of work, 3 phrases already started, and you're already on your way to getting this to Reddit rewards, we'll call them, because Reddit is a system. You can't really hack the system in so much as you can any other system. You need to build with it. So Reddit really does reward when you show up all the time. They even have achievements for posting or commenting every single day, right? So that's really important. Reddit likes that. People like that. You can't just come in and make a post and expect it to mean anything. You have to build with it, build the system. The results will then follow. Okay, so that's module 1. This is the whole overview. Next up is module 2, and we're going to go deep on community mapping.